Hi friends, and welcome to another edition of Decorating for Christmas with Happy Hot Home. I am so thrilled that you are enjoying all of my Christmas videos and you all are leaving such nice sweet comments. Really very much appreciated. So thank you very much. Makes me want to put out really great content for you. So I do appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to be decorating the foyer of our home. We are going to be decorating the banister and that big 12-foot flocked Christmas tree. This is probably going to be a long video. It took me many hours to decorate, so I have a lot to go through. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to speed up several of the areas, or else we would be here all day, but I hope you enjoy it. So the type of garland I am using are 9-foot pieces of pre-lit garland, and as you can see, it is flocked garland. This is the very same garland that I used on our living room mantle that so many of you liked, and I layered the green garland underneath it. I'm not doing that for this. I am using just one piece of garland on the railings. I love this garland and it is so easy to work with. It's pliable, it moves easily. It is messy. I do need to say that. It is messy, but it has these pieces of wire on the ends of them that you can kind of hook together and create one long stream. As you can see, I'm using, I don't know, 5 or 6 pieces that go from the left all the way down the railing. So I do like that. And it is very easy to work with. As I mentioned, the garland is pre-lit, so you can string several pieces together. But one thing I do need to warn you, or just make you aware of a mistake that I had made in the past, and I am sure not to make the mistake again. But when you start on your very first piece and you're connecting, let's say 5 or 6 pieces, make sure you're starting with the right side, the correct side of the connector. The male versus the female connector that you will attach into the wall. Because if you start with the wrong side and you continue all your pieces down, when you get to the bottom, you are going to realize that you have made a big mistake and you are going to need to restart the whole thing over again. So I have done this and I have learned from my mistake. So I always make a mental check that I am starting with the very correct piece to begin with. So after I have everything all connected and all the attachments connected, I go through and I fluff all the pieces. There's no point in fluffing it while I'm trying to put it up, because I'm just worrying about trying to get it connected to the railing. Oh, and I should mention that I do use zip ties for this. You guys have heard me talk about zip ties all season. They are my best friend. I love them. And I get the dark green ones so that, you can't see it, attached to the railing. So those are really fantastic. And now I'm going through and just adding a few pine cones as a little bit of decoration to the garland. And these pine cones do have just a little bit of paint on the top. They're not plain brown pine cones, so they do just have a little bit of white on the top, and they blend beautifully with the garland. So the next thing I am doing for the ribbon, I have decided to add some white velvet ribbon to all of the corners just to hang down. Instead of bows, I decided just on long pieces of ribbon. And I just think they look pretty, they look elegant, and again, you all know how much I love velvet, and I just love the look of them. I actually did buy also some blue, but it was the wrong color blue. So I was going to attach 2 pieces of ribbon. I was going to have a white and a blue piece of ribbon, but the blue didn't work out. So I am working with just the white ribbon, but I love the way that it looks. And I'm attaching it, as you can see, to each one of the points where I have a cascading, where I pin up the garland, where I loop it up to the railing, and then it goes down, and then I loop it up, and that is where I am attaching a bow. I am just about finished with these bows, and now I am going to start on the tree. Okay, so here we are. This is the next day, and I am starting on the tree, and you all know the very first thing that I do is I go through and I separate all the branches, and I make sure that everything is properly fluffed and separated, even those little pieces in the back. Make sure all the tips are forward. Make sure that each branch is hanging properly, because sometimes when they come out of the box, they get stuck up and they don't, fall properly. So I'm going through and just making sure that everything is good to go. Since the tree is so large, it does take a while to do each branch. And these trees, and this is the very same tree that I had put in our family room and our sunroom. It's the same style tree, the same type of flock tree, and there is some sparseness, in the middle. It's not a super dense tree where all of the branches are very close together. There are some wide spaces, and with the tree being so big, this tree has even wider spaces than a couple of the other trees. So I'm going through and I'm just making sure that everything is properly fluffed and it looks good. So you have heard me talk about in prior videos, after I do the fluffing with my flock trees, I like to add a layer of snow. So this time I'm using something different. In the prior videos, I used boa feathers, and those are beautiful and they're soft and they create this really pretty snowy effect that I love. But for the larger tree, I use something a little bit different, and I use fur ribbon. You can get these in your local, Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but one side of it is fur and the other side is not. So it's good and it's bad, unlike the boas, where the whole thing is, it's round and it's feathers on all sides. It's very easy to put on. With this, it's a little harder to put on because, as I said, only one side is fur. So what I am trying to do when I put it on, I'm trying to have it face forward. So I'm not just lying it flat and going all the way around the tree. I'm trying to angle it so that the fur faces forward. And I'm trying to do this, as much as possible. It's not going to be perfect because it's not a hard ribbon, it's a soft ribbon, so it's kind of tricky to get it to stand on its side. So you can kind of wedge it between some branches and what have you. It's a little tricky to do, but it is possible. And it doesn't have to be all completely forward. I just try to get it to be as forward as much as possible. As you can see, there is a lot of ladder work involved in decorating this tree, up and down, so I am getting a really good workout when I decorate this tree. But what I'm doing now, I have one extra piece of ribbon, so I am just attaching it to the very bottom most furthest edge out, just to give that very bottom layer 2 pieces of snow as opposed to 1, since I had an extra piece. And now I am starting to put the largest ornaments on the tree. So this year my Foyer tree is going to be a blue and white tree, and I was encouraged to do the blue because of those new chairs that we added this year. a great thrifting find that I found, and I added those to our foyer, so I was inspired to create a blue and white tree. Last year I did an all white tree and it just looks magnificent in the space. I love it. It looks so pretty. But I am going to add a few blue ornaments this year just to not overdo it. I don't want it to be an overly blue tree. I just want to give it a few blue accents. So I am adding all the largest ornaments now, and then I'm going to continue with some medium-sized ornaments and some smaller ornaments and some blue ornaments. So the blue ornaments that I purchased for this tree are just simple non-breakable ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby. I bought a couple sets of blue ornaments, and they come with several different shades of blue. I got 2 different containers. And what I decided to do is I decided to use just the matte blue ones on the tree. They include, some glitter ones and some kind of glossy looking ones, some shiny looking ones, but I decided to add only the matte ones to the tree. And the glitter ones I decided to put on the garland, and I will show you that. But I was very selective about the blue ornaments that I put on the tree. Now that I've finished with all of the white ornaments, I am just going to go ahead and add just a few small blue ones here and there to the tree, very selectively. So as I said, I added the matte blue ones to the tree, and then I added glitter ones to the garland in sets of 3. And for ribbon on the tree, what I decided to do is I took the leftover ribbon that I used on the garland, the velvet ribbon, and I just tied a few of them on the branches. I think it looks really pretty, and I hope you like it. Reveal coming up.